Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing another foundation testing video. I know I've done a couple of these recently, but a new foundation recently released that I have been quite excited for a little while, and it's now released in the UK as well. The UK launch was on Tuesday. This foundation is officially now available in the UK, hence why I'm doing a testing video on it now. Basically today I'm going to be testing the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Full Coverage Matte Foundation. I actually do have it in the shade Pale. It's meant to be up to 24-hour wear. It's drugstore, it's cruelty free, and yeah, there's been quite a lot of hype over this foundation. I know it's a collaboration with another YouTuber. I can't remember who it's with though for the life of me. But this does actually come in 45 shades, so you're bound to find something that pretty much matches your skin tone quite well. Just a little reminder that if you are new to my channel and you've never seen me before, then make sure to hit that little subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you do end up enjoying it, and without further ado, I'm going to roll onto the video and show you how this foundation wears. Okay, so like I did mention in the intro, I'm going to be testing this new NYX foundation today. I actually do have this in the shade Pale, but as you can see, it does look a little bit too pale for me. This is the lightest shade because normally I go for the lightest shade, but it looks like quite a neutral colour, which is good because my skin tone is more neutral. It does have a little bit of a pink undertone to it, but more than anything, it's more of a neutral kind of skin tone, so anything too yellow or too pink just does not work for me whatsoever. Obviously, when I get to winter, I won't be as tanned as I am now. Believe it or not, this is me tanned. We've had a really hot summer in the UK and I have tanned a little bit, like you can see from my arm. Like I am a little bit tanned, I promise. Obviously once I've powdered over it and stuff, I just feel like it works easier, so I tend to go for more of a lighter foundation rather than a darker one because dark just does not go for me. I did mention this does come in 45 different shades, which is incredible for a drugstore brand. I think in this day and age there's genuinely no excuse for not having a good enough shade range. Like, it's 2018. Come on, it's not that hard to make your foundation shades accessible for everyone and for women and men of colour and for just everyone. Like, it's not that hard. Shout out to NYX for actually creating 45 shades in this because it's a bloody good shade range. I will leave a picture of the shade range here if you are interested, but like you can see, it is pretty much a gradient shade range. What is also good about this foundation is that it only retails at £15, so it is super affordable. If any of you aren't aware, which I mean you probably are by now, NYX are a drugstore brand. They're sold in Boots in the UK. I don't know about America, but you can also access them online. They're easily accessible to buy online, and they do have their own UK website as well. I have tried quite a few NYX products, and in all honesty, I do like some of their stuff. I don't use all of their stuff, but genuinely the stuff that I've tried I really like. Moving on to what this foundation is actually about. This is the Can't Stop Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation. So this foundation does claim to be full coverage. It does say that it has a matte finish. Scares me a little bit because my skin is more normal to dry. At this moment in time though, it's okay because it's more normal, but as we go into the winter, my skin tends to get a little bit more dry. I just thought I'd give it a try anyway because some matte foundations do work for me. Some are awful on me, but some do work. So just bear that in mind when watching this video. It'll probably be better for someone that has more of an oily skin type rather than me that's normal to dry. It says that it lasts up to 24 hours, which, I mean, we're gonna put it to the test in this video because if you watched any of my foundation testing videos before, you will know that I do a full wear test of the foundation so you can see how it wears throughout the day. I'm gonna be doing a 8-hour wear test for this foundation, which is what I normally do. Obviously it says it's 24 hours wear, but I'm not gonna wear a foundation for 24 hours because 1, this time tomorrow I'll be in work, and 2, a girl has to sleep. Okay, so moving on to the actual foundation and what the packaging is like. You do actually get 30 millilitres of product in this foundation, which is standard for a foundation. Normally foundations come with 25 to 30 millilitres of product, which for 15 quid is still insane. I actually haven't opened this yet, so get in the... Oh, you can see the foundation does come with a pump, which is such a good thing because foundations with a pump are my favourite type of foundations. I feel like they just apply so much better with a pump. It comes in this like glass flossed sort of packaging. Quite skinny packaging, but I feel like it's quite nice. Like, It's quite basic, but I feel like it doesn't need to be anything too much. I mean, it comes with a pump, you've got pretty much the logo on the front. Like, there's nothing completely special about this packaging, but it's good enough. It's a drugstore brand and it's only £15, so I don't feel like I can get mad at the packaging. I am actually gonna see what this shade is like, just in case any of you are pale like me and you're like, what shade do I go for? I feel like once it's blended in, once I powder and do the rest of my makeup, I feel like it might be okay. I might just be able to get away with it. It doesn't actually look that bad, actually. I'm also going to the dentist today, so this is going to be fun because I'll be going to the dentist with a full face of makeup, and normally I literally go with no makeup on, so I think they're going to be a little bit shocked, especially if this foundation doesn't wear well. So I am praying that it wears okay, because I don't want to go to the dentist with dry ass skin. Nevertheless, I'm going to start by priming my face, and I'm going to prime my face using my Primark PS Primer Water. I chose this one because it's more of a hydrating primer and it just refreshes my face really nicely, which is good because we are using a matte primer today, so I need something that's a little bit more refreshing, a little bit more lightweight on my skin, which is why I'm going to use this little gem, and it's only £2, so it's a little bit of a bargain. Oh my god, this smells amazing. I know I say this every video, but I forget how good it smells as well. Next up, I'm going to move on to the foundation. My face is literally tingling. Like, this is such a nice feeling. So I'm going to move on to the foundation. So like I did mention, it does come with a pump. I'm going to roll my sleeves up because I am not getting foundation all over my nice like opera style sweater. Normally what I do is I apply some of it to my finger and then I just kind of like put little bits on my face, and then if I need any more I just kind of go in and get some more. It seems like quite a thin foundation. You know, like most full coverage foundations are quite thick. It actually, like, just applying it then, it was quite liquidy. Hopefully it will be quite a lightweight formula but still good coverage. I'm gonna do one side with my beauty blender and one side with my brush, so I think I'm gonna blend it in this side using my brush. I'm using a new BH Cosmetics brush. They feel really, really soft as well, so this is kind of like a first impressions. Okay, that is really light. Oh, I think this is the like first foundation that I've ever used where the lightest shade is too light for me. Like, when does that ever freaking happen? I am not one for applying foundations with a brush because I feel like it can go so streaky. Normally I just apply it with a beauty blender, but I mean, that coverage, oh my god, like that is white on me. That is genuinely, like, I can get away with it. It's not that bad, especially in winter when I'm literally like white, it will be okay. I feel like that is actually really, really nice. Really good coverage. You can see the difference between this side and this side. Got a really nice flawless finish. I would say it's definitely full coverage. I wouldn't say it was majorly full coverage. I have more full coverage foundations. I'd say my Kat Von D foundation is a lot more full coverage, but that's a really thick foundation, whereas this is quite a thin liquidy foundation. So to get this much coverage, even though it's not a thick product, like, that is really, really good. Okay, so next I'm going to take my beauty blender and I'm just going to blend in this side. Oh yeah, I prefer it so much more with a beauty blender. This coverage is insane. Doing it with a beauty blender, I feel like you can see it more. Okay, so overall, actually looks really, really nice. Would say it's not the best foundation to blend though. Like, I wouldn't say it blends out completely like a dream, but that's probably because it's such a full coverage foundation as well. It's good, it's really good coverage, as you can tell. It just takes a little bit more to blend it out, which isn't too bad. It just probably wouldn't be good for like an everyday foundation if you're in a rush. Nevertheless, as you can see, like the brush side, which is this side, definitely did pick up more coverage than the beauty blender side, which is this side. Doesn't feel really heavy on my face, doesn't feel that sticky either. You can tell like the finish is definitely matte. It does dry down matte. Normally with a lot of matte foundations, I'll put it on and I'll be like, whoa, that is way too matte, but it feels quite comfortable on my skin. Now that I've done that, I'm gonna actually move on to concealer. Unfortunately, I don't have a NYX concealer, but I do have a few other NYX products. So for concealer, I'm just gonna quickly use my Makeup Revolution Fast Base Concealer because it blends out really, really nicely and it's just quick and easy. Forgot to mention, this is in the shade C1 as well. Now that I have concealed my face and done my foundation, I'm going to move on to powder. And this is another NYX product as well. This is something that I've loved for quite a while and I don't want to break a nail, so it's okay, it's already open. This is the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat powder foundation. It just gives you a little bit of extra coverage, which you probably don't need with this foundation. This is good if you're using more of like a lightweight foundation, you want a little bit of an extra coverage. Haven't put that much powder on whatsoever, only because this foundation is quite matte as it is, and I don't want my face to be mattified anymore really. Basically, this is what the foundation looks like close up. As you can tell, it has really good coverage. You can tell that it's a little bit paler than my neck, but I can just about get away with it. Once I've bronzed up and done the rest of my face, it'll look a little bit better, so it's okay, don't worry. As you can tell, the coverage is really good. It does dry down matte. It's definitely a matte foundation. A lot of matte foundations do describe themselves as matte, but I found that they're semi-matte, but this is definitely 100% a matte foundation. Okay, so now I'm actually going to do the rest of my face off camera, and then I will be right back. Once I've done the rest of my face, I am going to set my face in place using my NYX Dewy Finish setting spray. I need to give something a little bit more dewy to my face. Rather than just having a matte foundation, I do like to go in with a dewy finish setting spray just to make everything look a little bit healthier and a little bit nicer. So I'm going to use that, and then we will see how long that this lasts and what it looks like up to 8 hours. So I will be right back with a full face of makeup on. Don't forget that I will be doing an 8-hour wear test for this foundation. So okay, so I've had this foundation on for an hour now. This is what it looks like. You can tell that it's definitely a matte foundation. It started clinging to my smile lines here and here, and it's gone a little bit drying under my eyes. It is definitely clinging to dry patches, which means that, like I did mention, this probably would be better with oily skin, as it is rather quite matte, but it's not like thick matte, like you can't really feel it on your face. It's quite a lightweight formula. It does actually look okay, it feels okay. It's just when you look close up, you can see like it has some quite badly into my smile lines, but this is what it looks like after an hour. I'm about to leave the house now because, as I mentioned before, I actually do have a dentist appointment, so I'm going out with this foundation on, but I've had this on now for 3 hours, so this is my 3 hours check-in point. As you can see, my smile lines, it's still sunk in quite a lot. Very drying around my forehead area here, my cheeks here, it's really dry. That's normally where foundations tend to stick to my dry patches anyway. You can tell that at the tip of my nose as well, it has actually gone quite drying. Like I did mention, it is a matte foundation, so it doesn't surprise me, but it's just gone very drying very quickly. So we'll see what it's like in another couple of hours, but this is what the foundation's looking like after 3 hours. Okay, so I have literally just come back from the dentist, so I'm gonna do my 5-hour check-in because this has now been on for 5 hours, and this is what the foundation is looking like. Let me zoom you in a little bit more, you're not zoomed in that much. Basically, this is what the foundation is looking like. As you can see, looks very dry. It's clung a lot to my dry patches. It doesn't feel very comfortable on my skin anymore. Like, you can definitely tell that I have drier skin. It definitely would not work for me in winter. Like, my skin is more normal to dry now, whereas in winter it goes a lot more drying. So as you can see, it looks very drying up in this area here. Once again, it's clung and broken up around my nose here. You can tell from my smile lines, like, there's no going back now. Like, they're sunk in for good in those smile lines. On my cheeks, it just feels really dry, especially in this area here. Like, it just feels so dry and just so dried down. So the thing that I would say is, after 5 hours, I'm not the biggest fan of it at all. This is my 7-hour check-in, and this is what the foundation is looking like. Around my forehead is broken up quite bad. Like, it looks just like really like scaly on my forehead. Obviously my smile lines, there hasn't been much change there. It's broken up around my nose at either side here. My under eyes have also creased quite bad as well. I don't know if that's because of the foundation and the concealer together and it's just creased, but you can tell that they have creased quite bad here. It just feels really dry and just really matte on my face, but I'm gonna have it on for another hour and we'll see if anything else changes. This is now my last and final check-in because this foundation has now been on for 8 hours. For how it looks, like, it's always looked okay. Like, you can't tell that it's extremely drying, but it does feel really drying on me. I think it's more how it feels. I feel like it's very long lasting. It's very matte, so it would be great if you had oily skin, but I just wanted to give it a try anyway, because like I did say, some matte foundations do work for me, some don't, and unfortunately it's looked like this hasn't. So this is my final check-in and this is what it looks like after 8 hours. So that is my full review, first impressions and wear test on the new NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation. I will leave the link to where you can buy this in the description bar below if you're a little bit you're interested. And like I did mention, it does come in 45 shades, so have a little browse, see if you can find your shades. I hope that you did find this video even just a little bit helpful. If you did enjoy this video, then don't forget to smash it a big massive thumbs up. So feel free to hit that little subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you do also tap that little bell down below so you are notified every single time I post a new video, a little bit like this one. As always, all my social media links will also be linked in the description bar below, so if you want to give me a follow, then feel free to. Once again, thank you so incredibly much for watching, and hopefully I will see you on my next video. Bye!